right, so hello everyone, and welcome to today's StableNet Snapshot. My name is Siggy Miller. I'm a software developer here at InfoSim, and today we'll talk about UI profiles. But before we start with the demonstration, I want to briefly explain the problem we set out to solve. So, as many of you know, StableNet users spend or can spend a significant amount of time configuring their workspaces. So choosing the right tag tree, adjusting table settings like column size or column positions, resizing grids, opening or closing drawers, switching between search modes, filtering, and so on. And last year, we introduced view caching. I'm now on the StableNet 25 version. And with the view caching, we already improved workflows within a single session. So as I will show you real quick, when I adjusted some tables here or set some filters like searching something and I switched the view to another one, jump back to it, everyone was the same as it is. You didn't have to set up anything again. But the moment you logged out, you switched to another device, changed your browser, or simply came back after a few days, even when you refreshed the page, all of your customizations were gone. So, and that's why we created the UI profiles. So they allow users to permanently store their UI preference, server-side, role-aware, and consistent across different sessions and devices. So what is a UI profile? So essentially, it's a container that stores your personal UI preferences, which includes column orders, column visibility, sizes, drawer state, tag tree selection, search mode, basic search or tag filter mode, which I will be talking later on, and different other UI flags. And of course, additionally, you can assign user roles to a UI profile, which allows companies to, yeah, to define different layouts, for example, different teams like support, administration, and so on. All right, let's begin with the UI profile creation. For this, we go to the UI profiles page, which can be found under administration in the management tab. And here we can open the UI profile creation dialog, which is pretty simple. We have a name, for example, test profile. We can add a description and additionally a user group. Let's create this one without a user group and create another one with a user group. Here I created this test group and have another test user assigned this group to. So if I select this, I have now two user profiles. All right. And that's basically it. Now the profiles are created and available to all users with the corresponding roles. So now let's take a look where UI profiles actually are selected. The profiles can be selected in the user menu pop-up, which is also a new improvement to the older StableNet 25 version. If you select here the user menu, it looks a little bit different. So here we have new settings like changing the color themes, the color settings of the portal. We can go to the portal information. We can manage a user profile. And for us, important here is the view persistence card. Here we have all the created user profiles, but one important note here, the default profile cannot be overwritten or saved, and that's how we ensure that there's always a kind of fallback layout you want to use. All right, now let's walk through a example. Let's go to the device overview page, and here let's adjust the page a little bit. Here we can, before we do that, we switch to one of our profiles. Let's take the test profile. And as you can see now, we have 3 buttons. We have the save, undo, and reset button. The reset button always resets to the default state, and save, undo, of course, saves and undoes our changes. So now let's, for example, rearrange some columns. We can change the column width. We can even, let's only show name, status, maybe the operating system and the vendor here. We can toggle the drawer to an expanded state, and even select another tree config. And all of these actions highlight the save and undo button. So now if I, for example, save my changes, all these changes are saved server side. So if I, for example, refresh the page now, if I relog, if I switch my browser, switch my laptop, for example, all these changes are saved under this profile. So now if I switch to the default profile, for example, as you can see, the view resets to a default state here. And even things like, let's change again to my test profile here, even things like, let me close this drawer again, like setting table filters here. So if I deselect all and only want to show the ones with, okay, don't have here. Let's take major, for example, and if I save now, even things like table filters are being saved. So if I refresh the page now, as you can see, even the filter is saved. If I switch to default, everything is being reset. And now if I want to reset, of course I can, or if I'm not happy with my layout, I can reset the whole view to the default state by simply clicking reset. And as you can see, the default layout is being applied. I can undo this or save this. Let's save this. Now we have the default state again. All right, and as you saw, basically every, or not every move we made, but a lot of changes we made can be saved. So here now the save is available. We can save the state. So a lot of things can be saved and be used in the user profiles, in the UI profiles. All right. So let's now take a look at the role-based behavior of UI profiles. For this, let me switch to another user by simply logging out and taking my test user here. And this user basically doesn't have a lot of rights here. That's why you didn't see anything. But I have one user profiles assigned to this user. Of course, the default layout is always available to every user, but because I only assigned the test2 profile to this user, this profile is available and not the other one. But because my other user had administration rights and was able to see everything. And now I can, of course, make adjustments and save this profile. But now let's switch back to my administration user here and go to my overview page again. So before we wrap up, I want to highlight an important improvement in the area of searching and filtering. So in many real world scenarios or situations, a simple text search isn't enough. So for example, you may remember only a prefix of a custom ID, or you want to filter devices by a specific vendor. So here, for example, Cisco vendor. Normally, this is where we would use tag filters in StableNet. But for this reason, we implemented for all taggable object in StableNet, or for all taggable tables, the option to switch to a tag filter mode. So here you can basically use tag filter query language to filter tables. So let's now, and the best part is you don't have to be an expert in the tag filter query language. You can just start typing, and with auto completion, you have the possibility to, simply write tag filter query language. So let's now search for device vendor, and then we have like a possibility to select operator equals, and we want to filter on Cisco. And the nice part is that this tag filter mode selection is also part of the user profiles, UI profile. So if you're maybe kind of a power user who only relies on tag filter query language, this is also a handy feature which you can use. Simply switch to the tag filter mode and use it with your UI profile. All right. So one of the biggest advantages of UI profiles, of course, is how they adapt to personal workflows. So not everyone is using StableNet the same way. Some users prefer compact views, so maybe only just two columns and nothing else. Others rely on the tag filter query language. Others need to consistently switch between different tag tree configurations, or and with UI profiles, all of these preferences become part of like a consistent layout. So everyone can basically adjust his workflow with StableNet. All right, to summarize this UI profiles, Uh, UI profiles store UI settings permanently, which is a nice thing because it is stored server side. So even if you come back to a different time, simply select your UI profile and everything will be adjusted to your needs. You have role-based customization, as you saw. Different users with different roles can be adjusted to different UI profiles. You can make the switching of workflows a little bit faster because you can even create multiple UI profiles and use them. Of course, if you have one layout for one profile and then switch it. Yeah. And of course, it provides a consistent experience across, as mentioned, uh, different sessions and devices. So switching to another device, switching browsers, switching or coming back later. All right, that's gonna be it for today and user UI profiles. Thank you very much for your attention.